everyone. Thanks for coming back to our health channel. Today's topic is a super important one, especially for the guys out there. We're going to be talking about prostate problems. If you're wondering, the prostate is a small part of a man's body that has some really big jobs. Sometimes, just like any other part of our body, it can act up and have issues. Now, I know this might sound complicated, but don't worry. We're going to break everything down together. We'll explore what exactly the prostate is, the common troubles it can face, and the signs that might tell us something's not quite right. Plus, we'll chat about some cool natural ways people try to keep their prostate healthy using plants and herbs. Ready to learn? Let's dive in. We're diving into a topic about a tiny but super important organ in the male body called the prostate. Imagine something as small as a walnut, but shaped like your favorite donut. That's the prostate for you. Tucked right under the bladder, this little guy might be small, but it's got a big job to do. Part of it feels like muscle, and the other part acts like a gland, which is a special kind of organ that produces and releases certain stuff our body needs. For the prostate, its star product is a special fluid. This isn't just any fluid, though. It mixes with sperm cells, which come from another part of the male body, and together they create what's known as seminal fluid. I know it's a lot of different fluids, but each one has its unique role in the grand scheme of things. But here's where it gets even cooler. The prostate isn't just sitting there making fluid all day. It's also packed with muscles that have their own important role. These muscles spring into action when needed, especially during a process called ejaculation. This process is super essential for creating new life. Think about it. Such a small organ, but with such a monumental task. The wonders of the human body never cease to amaze. So the prostate, as tiny and humble as it is, stands as a testament to how every part, no matter how small, plays a big part in the intricate dance that is our body's functioning. All right, so while the prostate is an amazing organ with some super important jobs like all parts of our bodies, it can sometimes face challenges. One of those challenges that many men might hear about or even experience is something called prostatic hypertrophy. Now that's a big name, but let's break it down. Basically, it means the prostate gets bigger than it's supposed to be. Imagine if that small walnut-sized organ started to grow bigger and bigger. That can be problematic. Why? Well, if it gets too large, it can press against the tubes that carry urine out of the body. This can slow down the flow of urine, making it hard to go to the bathroom or even block it entirely. And here's where things get more serious. If urine can't flow out properly, it might stay in the bladder for too long. This can create a perfect environment for nasty things like infections and inflammation. If left unchecked, it might even damage the kidneys, which are super essential for filtering out waste from our bodies. Now, let's chat about another prostate problem, prostatitis. In simple terms, it's when the prostate becomes inflamed or swells up. It's kind of like when you get a sore throat, but instead, it's the prostate feeling under the weather. But here's the thing to remember. The prostate doesn't live in a bubble. It's affected by the health of the whole body. So, if someone has other health problems like diabetes where blood sugar gets too high, or high blood pressure where the blood pumps too hard against the walls of the arteries, or even rheumatism which affects the joints, these conditions can make the prostate's job harder and affect its overall health. So, keeping the whole body healthy is crucial for the prostate's well-being too. Now, on to something super important, the early warning signs of prostate problems. Just like when our car makes a weird noise and we know we should probably get it checked out, our body also gives us little signals when something isn't quite right. For the prostate, these signs can be a bit tricky and unexpected. Believe it or not, things like losing hair earlier than most guys can be a signal. Another sign, especially for younger boys, might be when they notice urine stains in their underwear even after they thought they were done using the bathroom. It's like when you think you've finished pouring a drink, but a few drops still come out. And it's not just young ones. Grown men might find that they have to shake more than usual to make sure they're done. It's like our body's way of saying, hey, pay attention, something's up. But here's the catch. A lot of times, people just shrug these things off or are too embarrassed to talk about them. That means these early signs, as clear as they might be, often get ignored. And by the time someone realizes there's a problem, it might have gotten a lot more complicated. Now, in addition to the signs we just talked about, there are other things to look out for. These include feeling pain between the back part of your belly and the part of your body where the private parts are, or finding that starting or stopping when you pee becomes a challenge. Some guys might also feel a frequent urge to pee both during the day and at night, or feel a burning sensation when they do. Seeing blood or something that looks like pus in the urine is definitely a sign that should make you want to visit a doctor. And for those who are a bit older, changes in the force or amount of fluid when they ejaculate, back pain, or having more than one kidney or urinary tract infections could be red flags. Lastly, any change in the smell of the fluid during ejaculation, issues with getting or maintaining a firmness in the private parts, or even discovering a hard, rubbery mass between the back door and the testicles could be warning signs. There's a lot to keep in mind, but it's all about understanding our bodies better and catching any issues early on. Let's dive deep into a topic that has a lot of folks scratching their heads: the big drop in sperm counts. Way back in 1938, the average sperm count was like a bustling city of 120 million per milliliter. Imagine that. Now, fast forward to 1991, and it's like that bustling city has turned into a quiet town with only 20 million. That's a huge drop. What's causing this? Well, our food might be a big clue. You see, when we eat non-organic foods, we might be getting more than we bargained for. These foods can contain higher levels of certain chemicals that act like the hormone estrogen. This can mess with the balance of other hormones in our bodies, and hormones are like the managers of our body systems. If they're out of whack, a lot of things can go haywire, including sperm production. But the story doesn't end there. This excess estrogen in non-organic foods can lower other important hormones in our bodies, like progesterone and testosterone. It's like a seesaw. When one side goes up, the other goes down. With lower levels of these hormones, sperm counts can drop, and the health of the prostate can also be affected. It's not just foods like meats and dairy either. Even fruits and vegetables can have these estrogen-like chemicals if they're not organic. Even more, there's research out there suggesting that things like stress, exposure to certain chemicals in our environment, and even tight-fitting underwear can also impact sperm counts. So, while our diets play a big role, it's essential to think about our overall lifestyle choices to understand the full picture. Diving into the world of natural remedies, it's pretty impressive how Mother Nature seems to have a solution for so many of our health concerns. When it comes to our prostate, there's a whole list of herbs out there that might give a helping hand. Let's start with maca, which is this cool root that's believed to boost energy and stamina. Then we've got saw palmetto, a little plant with berries that has been used for ages to help with urinary and reproductive issues. Yohimbe is another one to add to our list, known for its benefits to improve blood flow down there and potentially spice up our love lives. But it doesn't stop there. There's pygeum and miurapuama too, both gaining popularity for their potential prostate benefits. Now, if inflammation's got you down, there's cat's claw and chickweed to the rescue. They're like the firefighters of the herb world, aiming to calm the fiery inflammation. But wait, there's more. If the prostate starts acting like it's had too much to drink and gets a bit swollen, echinacea and golden seal might be your new best friends. They can help in reducing that unwanted enlargement. And speaking of friends, we can't forget about others like feverfew, sarsaparilla, witch hazel, and even buchu. Each of these has unique properties that can contribute to prostate health. But remember, It's always good to chat with a healthcare professional before diving into the herbal world, just to make sure everything mixes well with your unique body and any other medications or supplements you might be taking. Eating the right foods is kind of like giving your body the best fuel to run on. When we think about the prostate, which is super important for guys, there are some foods that it really doesn't like. Alcohol, for instance, might be fun at parties, but it's not a fan favorite for our prostate. Then there's the stuff we might eat every day, like non-organic eggs, meats, and milk. They might seem harmless, but sometimes they can have things in them like added hormones or chemicals that our prostate finds annoying. White sugar, which is in so many sweet things we love, isn't great either. It's like the junk food for our body's engine. Add fried foods to the mix, and it's a recipe for trouble. Think about that crispy fried chicken or those golden fries. They taste great, but they aren't doing any favors for our prostate health. And caffeine, which is in things like coffee, some teas, and even some sodas, when taken a lot, might cause problems down the line. But don't lose hope. Just like there are foods to avoid, there are superfoods that our prostate loves. Internet health buffs and doctors talk about the goodness of things like tomatoes, broccoli, and fatty fish like salmon, which are packed with nutrients good for prostate health. Almonds, pumpkins, sunflower seeds, and even certain fruits can make our prostate do a happy dance. Plus, instead of frying foods, maybe we could grill or steam them, which is a healthier choice. And remember, while all these tips sound awesome, everyone's body is unique, so it's always a good idea to check with a nutritionist or doctor about what's best for each person's health journey. All right, so we've talked about some foods that aren't the best pals with our prostate. But let's flip the script and chat about the foodie superheroes that our prostate loves. When it comes to munching down on some good stuff, think of raw almonds, which are not just tasty but also packed with nutrients. These little nuts can be a snack or added to a bowl of cereal or yogurt. Then we have pumpkin and sunflower seeds. They're not just for Halloween or bird feeders. These seeds are like mini health boosters. You can toss them into salads or just have them as snacks. And veggies. They're like the all-stars for our body. Spinach, broccoli, carrots, and even tomatoes are loaded with vitamins and can be the sidekicks in any meal. Whole grains are also a big win. We're talking about foods like brown rice, quinoa, and whole grain bread. They give us energy and are way better than their processed buddies. Now, imagine our body is like a plant. Just as plants need water to stay alive and fresh, so do we. Keeping hydrated is super important, especially for the prostate. Drinking water flushes out all the bad stuff and keeps everything working smoothly. But not just any water. Distilled water is like the VIP of waters because it's purified and free from a lot of the unwanted extras found in regular tap water. For the best results, try to aim for at least half a gallon of distilled water every day. It might sound like a lot, but once you start, it gets easier and your body, especially that prostate, will be thanking you. In wrapping things up, it's clear that even though the prostate is a tiny part of the male body, its well-being is vital. A proactive approach, staying educated about its needs and choosing a beneficial diet and lifestyle can pave the way for optimal prostate health. We all need reminders and new information to keep us on track, and that's where FitBuzz steps in, bringing you the most relevant health buzz. Thanks for sticking around till the end of this episode. If you found it enlightening, please hit that like button, share with friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to FitBuzz for more enlightening health buzz. Your body and prostate will be glad you did.